Hey guys, Mike Griffin here. Beach Catholic Presents. Our question this week is, how do I find God? I want to start with a quick story. You can see in the bottom right here this picture of these two sets of footprints in the sand. And the story goes like this. There's this man who finally meets God after he dies. He's in heaven and he says to God, um, tell me a little bit about life. And God says, here's an image of your life and the footprints that you walked throughout your life, and me walking next to you throughout your life. And you can see there's two sets of footprints, right? But at the bottom, there becomes one set. And the man says, hey, yeah, I remember that part of my life. That's when my father died, and I felt so alone and I was suffering so much. And I couldn't find you. I didn't know where you were. I felt all alone. And the man says to God, I knew that you weren't with me because I couldn't find you anywhere. And God says to him, at that point in your life, that last footprint, that's where you couldn't go any longer. And I picked you up and I carried you. So that one set of footprints, those are mine. Those are my footprints carrying you when you couldn't go any longer. And I think that's so true that a lot of times we question God and where is God when we can't see the full picture, when we can't see it the way God sees it, that He is always with us. And I think this week's gospel speaks right to that question of how do I find God or where is God? And the gospel is on the road to Emmaus. You have two disciples. You can see on the bottom of my picture here, there's a disciple on the left, a disciple on the right. They both knew Jesus. They both were with Jesus. And this is after the resurrection. So Jesus has died. This is after Easter. And these two men are walking on this road to Emmaus, right outside Jerusalem. So they're walking, and all of a sudden this third man appears to them. And this third man here, it's actually Jesus. However, the two apostles, they don't recognize it as Jesus, which is so interesting. They don't recognize that it's actually him. It's actually Jesus. And they're actually, these three men, they start walking together and they're actually talking about Jesus. And they don't even recognize that it's him. And as time goes on, hours of conversation pass, and finally it's getting late. So the men finally get to their village, and this man that they just met is about to continue walking. And the two disciples say, hey, why don't you stay with us? It's late. Stay with us. Have dinner with us. So the man says, okay, I'll stay with you. And when they have dinner, this man, right, who is Jesus, they don't recognize him as Jesus. He takes bread, breaks it, and he gives thanks, just like he did at the Last Supper. And in that moment, it clicks for these two apostles, and they recognize, oh my God, this is Jesus. This is the risen Lord right in front of us. He's been with us for hours. He's been with us this whole day, walking with us on the road to Emmaus. And I think that story is so true. It has so much meaning for us throughout our whole life, but especially probably even more so during these difficult times of, we need to look for God in order to find him. Right? We need to look for him and be on the watch for God throughout our whole lives, because every second he's with us. And we need to be patient, right? These apostles say, they don't realize it's Jesus, but they say, hey, stay with us, stay with me. And I think that's a great prayer. Even at times when we don't recognize that God is with us, which is saying, God, stay with me. Please stay with me. Stay with us. Stay with my family. Be patient. Even though we might not recognize it at first, like the apostles didn't. As time goes on, as we spend more and more in time with God, we will recognize him even more so. And that, hey, I think maybe the most important part is the importance of the Eucharist, right? When Jesus breaks that bread and gives thanks, right? That's the truest essence of God that we have on this earth, is the Eucharist at Mass that we receive. And even though we can't go to Mass now, it's even more important to stay engaged and watch Mass online and pray during Mass, because that is the true essence of God on this earth that we can participate in every single week. And I just came across this great quote too of the road to Emmaus is this world. And I think that's so great. It's like we can go through so much of our life on this road and not recognize that God is with us the whole time, that there are two sets of footprints with us the whole time. And when it seems like we're alone, many times that's God carrying us through those difficult moments. So remember, be patient, pray, stay with me, God, stay with me, Jesus, and watch Mass. That is the true essence of Jesus on this earth. That is the best prayer that we can make. And have the faith that even when we're in those dark times, when it seems like he's not with us, he always is. And he promises to never leave us. We're asking, guys, we have this new site, beachcatholic.com/kids. Please, we've got some great videos and pictures submitted to us, already emailed to us, of you guys at home saying a prayer, telling us how you're doing, telling us what you're doing at home to stay engaged in your faith. Please send us a picture, send us a video of how you're staying engaged with your faith. It's more important than ever. And these pictures and videos can bring a lot of joy to a lot of people, knowing that you guys, our kids, are staying engaged in our faith. So please email us any pictures or videos that you have of yourselves at home. We really challenge you to do that this week. It would really mean so much. And please remember, on beachcatholic.com/TV, we have a YouTube channel where you can watch Mass, daily Mass, Sunday Mass. There's a podcast that you can listen to. Thursday nights, we're always doing something. So continue to stay engaged. Don't let this time pass you by without you getting to know God a little bit more. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good week, guys.